Hey everybody, it's Brandon, the Weekend Cruiser, where I've done over 160 different cruises, and I wanted to come on here and share with you my most recent one, which is my first Carnival Cruise Line ship that I've done, the Carnival Conquest, which is doing weekends out of Miami. Well, I say it's my first one. Technically, it's my second. I did the Carnival Fantasy in 2009 out of New Orleans for a 4-night, but that is such a distant memory that I don't really remember much of it. So I'm going to consider this cruise in late 2025 to be, my first Carnival sailing. And, I've been sailing around a lot. I do weekends, so, I kind of know what to expect. And I made a whole video on, what surprised me about the Carnival Conquest. One thing I didn't mention that I wanted to make a full video on was that the Carnival Conquest was a relaxing cruise. As much as Carnival markets to the fun people and I feel like energetic a little bit, it was a really, really relaxing, welcomed good time. I had a blast. I think some of this probably comes from, I've done a lot of weekends with Royal Caribbean. Majority of my sailings have been there, and it is a party-hardy ship these days. It is very much so party-focused, a lot more than what I found at Carnival, which surprised the heck out of me. So let me know down in the comments if you'd be interested in hearing a comparison video directly saying weekend on Carnival, weekend on Royal Caribbean. What's the vibe of those? Which one is more energetic? Which one's more relaxing? And what's the biggest differences there? I've got a lot of Royal Caribbean to compare to, but not as much on the Carnival. This is like I said, my first Carnival ship, so I don't have a big sample size there, but I think I could come up with enough examples of how they're so different in their experiences. So let me know in the comments if that's something you all would enjoy after you see this video. So let's start out with, what did I find to make it a relaxing experience? The first thing I'll say is the pool. This is one that was especially welcome. So we have a sea day. On Carnival Conquest, you can expect to always have a sea day. With this, I was like, I'm not one who shows up early. I don't get out there at 8 o'clock. I don't reserve my chair, throw a towel on it. I just show up whenever I happen to show up. And so I got there about 11 a.m. in the morning, which is late for most ships. And honestly, had no problem finding a chair. There was plenty of spaces all around to be able to find. Nobody was hogging chairs. There weren't just random towels sitting all over the place. You kind of could pick where you wanted to go. You could find somewhere to sit that would be a good time. So there was plenty of space. The next thing that I thought was exceptionally relaxing that I didn't know was there was the Serenity adults only area. So this is going to be up on one of the higher decks away from the pool a little bit, but it had cushioned chairs. First of all, you all know that I like to sit out there, read my book, but I can't do it in their normal chairs. Give me an hour in a regular lounge chair by a pool with no cushion, that's all I can manage. Give me a cushion and I can stay all day. It is a much better experience. And so I really enjoyed this airport. It had its own dedicated hot tubs that did not have children in it because it's adults only, and it was enforced. So it was a really, really relaxing area. Got a great breeze. It had sun. It had shade places where you could go. It was a really, really good time. The next thing that I'll say about the pool here that made it a relaxing experience was the music selection. So the music on board the Carnival Conquest was the favorites from 1970s, if you will. It was like Tina Turner and just really fun, good energy, good vibes kind of music. You'd have a few people dancing to it, but it was nothing like the boom, 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 the kind of music that you may find elsewhere. It was relaxing. It was a nice, easy vibe that they had by their pool on a sea day. The music was at a really good level. You could have a conversation without a problem. You could read your book without being distracted. So I really, really enjoyed the pool experience on the Carnival Conquest. The next thing here, and this one I find a little bit funny, that made it, to me, it made it more of a relaxing environment, is people don't show up to dinner on time at the Carnival Conquest. Like, they would tell you your dining time is, let's say, 6 o'clock. I forgot what time it actually was. People will not show up at 6 o'clock. You will show up somewhere between 6:05, 6:10, and 6:20. And that's okay. Like, there's nobody giving you a hard time about it. You're going to be sat. You're going to be able to order with everybody else. But there's not this rush that you have to be there right at 6 o'clock. You can kind of show up whenever you want to. I think some people are showing up 30, 35 minutes late from the time that they told us to get there. But I didn't feel like there was a second seating. We never felt rushed. I didn't see anybody ever turn those people away. They treated them, gave them the same experience as everybody else. And to me, that was just nice because I think a lot of people do stress out on getting to the dining room and getting in there as quick as they can. And here, honestly, go when you want to. It's a very relaxed experience, and that works. Now, the next reason that I think that it was relaxing is, look, I tried to get into trouble while I was there. I tried going out to the nightlife. I pushed myself to stay out late, which most of you know I'm 10:30 sharp. I am in bed, but I pushed myself. I stayed up to 12:30, 1 o'clock, and I tried to find trouble to get into. And I would go to the nightclub there, and the nightclub was a good time. I mean, but it was, I don't want to say that it was low energy per se, but it wasn't the high energy hype that I am used to. And I think a lot of this came from the style of music that they were playing. And so they had 3 different distinct nightclub nights on both Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So the first was going to be your Latin and R&B on Friday night. Saturday night was the best of the 90s and 2000s, and then the third night was going to be Caribbean and Afro beats. The thing with these 3 genres is they bring out the best in people. They bring out good energy. 90s and 2000s, I will sing along to every single song that you've got, which is fantastic. But it's not that heavy music, high energy, making you want to take shots and all that. It's just a good time, but it's not pushing the limit on how much fun, how loud you can be, how crazy you can get. It's just a really good time. And so I will say that I appreciated taking a step back from some of the crazy nightclubs that are out there on cruise lines and just having a really good, easy to sing along, easy to dance to kind of music for the evening activity. The next thing that I'll talk about here is, and I don't know if this made it relaxing per se, but it kept it from going off the rails and becoming a stressful situation, which by nature makes it relaxing, is Carnival Cruise Line has drug dogs. They've got narcotics dogs. I call them Fido. Fido is going to meet you at the cruise port. As soon as you are getting into that terminal, you're going to line up and Fido is going to sniff you out. He's going to see, hey, what'd you bring with you today? Not only is he going to do it there, he's going to follow you on board. And so you're going to see Fido throughout your sailing, walking around the ship, making sure that there is still nothing on you that he may be interested in. And so I say this makes it relaxing because, as you all know, if you go on other cruise lines these days, you're going to smell things, you're going to see things. And I find that the security can't really do much about it. And that has made some stressful sailings for me, especially when I have somebody in the cabin next door to me and everything is wafting into my stateroom. Number one, I'm scared I'm going to get charged the cleaning fee for smoking in my room. And it's just not pleasant. I don't enjoy the smell. No judgment if that's something you choose to do. I just don't want to have to smell it in my own personal space. And security can't seem to do anything about it. And I know I've seen online that you all have similar issues with things going on the cruise lines. The last thing that I'll mention on why I think that it was a relaxing crowd, and this one surprised me a little bit too, is it was an older crowd. For a weekend, I did not see the 20-somethings. They did not show up. On other cruise lines, your 20-somethings, they will be there. They will be having a good old time. But on this one, I felt like it was more like 35, 55 kind of age. It was more senior people, more people my age, which was actually really refreshing. But it's also a different way of enjoying the nightlife, enjoying ourselves and things that interest us versus what may be from a 21 to a 30-year-old kind of perspective. And I think that really helped. All right, so those are some of my thoughts on why I thought Carnival was a relaxing cruise line, which kind of surprised me. So let me know down in the comments. This was my first Carnival cruise ship in ages. Let me know in the comments if you also have found this to be the case in recent years. Carnival, I honestly believe, is trying to change their image. And I absolutely saw that on the Carnival Conquest when I was there in October of 2026. I don't know if that's extending to other places, but the weekends are probably the toughest one to tame, and I think they've done a really good job at it. The last thing that'll make this a relaxing cruise for you specifically is make sure you are checking out the full ship walking tour of the Carnival Conquest. Know the floor plan, know the layout, so that you don't miss anything while you are there for your very short cruise. All right, everybody, this is Brandon, the Weekend Cruiser. Hoping to see you on a weekend cruise soon.